Hey folks, Keith with 93 Lumber coming back at you with a beer. And Matt. Ooh. Oh no.
Yeah, me. This guy.
It's like weird.
Yeah, you always
angled weird.
Oh no, wait,
yeah, this is my first beer review in like over 2 weeks, so this is a little wonky, but we are drinking a beer that our friend Ralph sent to us from Florida. It is Barrel of Monks Brewing, where he works. It is their Waypoint India Pale Ale.
IPA in a bottle. Hashtag bottles.
Yeah, brown bottle. It was bottled on 12/14 of last year, which makes this what?
Month and a half old.
Month and a half.
I mean, that's probably the first thing we should talk about. Ralph sent these off. Actually, got these. I think on the 23rd of December. So I don't know if you've talked to Ralph recently, but apologies for us taking a little bit longer to get this done. Basically, it was the holidays, and then I think I was like busy or sick. And then Keith literally just got over COVID. So we wanted to do a joint review because when Ralph always sends these beers to me, he's like, hey, I threw some in there for Keith. And we couldn't connect because of everything going on. So it was kind of getting long in the tooth. And I was like, what was it last week? I was like, dude, we got to do this. You know what I mean? So apologies, Ralph, but we're finally getting it done. But yeah, he sent it off to me. It's kind of like one of his first kind of like, he did the Enigma one, which we reviewed.
Mm-hmm.
But this is kind of the first kind of, I think this is like going to be like a heavy rotation, like a flagship-y kind of thing. Barrel Monks is very Belgian leaning and stuff like that. But he's pumped about this one, and I'm pumped to dive into it.
Yeah. It does say a little bit of thing over here. It's 6.5% alcohol by volume, but it says if you're on a journey of beer exploration, you'll definitely want to stop here and stay a while to enjoy the citrusy IPA featuring notes of tangerine, lemon, kiwi, and white grape flesh. Just don't linger too long or you may never want to leave.
Ooh.
All right.
Very, very modest wording.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, I forgot a bottle opener. Oh, bean scraper. No, get it done. So, yeah. Hey, look at that. Me and Keith didn't even. Oh, I thought I had my bond glass. I don't. I thought we had. We were bond twinsies. Label-wise, I talk about labels. It's all right. It's nothing too crazy. It looks a little bit generic, but it is. Yeah. You talk about a Belgian heavy influence Belgian brewery doing a hazy IPA. It's always going to look a little bit off.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the color or if it's like the style, but it reminds me of like old school kind of like West Coast IPA label things.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, just kind of like, I mean, listen, dude, it's an IPA label on a bottle. It looks like green flash. It looks like
yeah, exactly.
But beer-wise, I mean, mine probably doesn't come off as vibrant because of my lighting here, but it comes off like old school, new school kind of IPA. Like you're kind of like the way Hetty and Second Fiddle and the Lawsons of the world kind of looked when they came out. That kind of subtle haze, but it's not used with something ultra turbid. There's nice carbonation to it. You can kind of sort of see through it a little bit, semi-opaque.
Yeah, it looks good.
All right.
See what it smells like?
See if you can smell something.
Ooh, that reminds me of like in a good way. That reminds me of like a laundromat. It has that like florally laundry detergent kind of thing, like in a good way. Like not in like yeah, like
one of my old monikers out there. Yeah, it's like for me, it's heavy citrus, but not again. It's not like new school like super turbid like orange juice citrus. It's a little bit kind of like it's not hard candy citrus, but it's not like orange Julius citrus. It's like kind of like gummy citrus with like
yeah.
I get that grape thing, that grape flesh, but it's more of like a white grapey thing. I kind of get that, but it's definitely fruit forward. It's definitely kind of citrus, grape probably even a little stone fruit forward, but it's like it's very much kind of like a slightly underripened, organic, kind of not overly sweet kind of fruitiness. There's nothing like over the top to it. It doesn't come off as like kind of cranked to 11. It's more kind of natural, for a better term.
Getting a little bit of like a like kind of like a Smarties candy kind of thing too.
Yeah, I can get where you're coming from with that. I think I would say that more than your floral point, because where Smarties have this kind of powdery confectionery thing going on, but it doesn't come off. It has Smarties-esque kind of stuff going on, but it doesn't come off like the perception isn't that it's going to be overly sweet, kind of
right. Yeah. All right.
Cheers, Joe.
Cheers. Thanks, Ralph. It was weird.
You think it's weird?
In like a really good way. Because it's got that West Coasty kind of like little kind of piney, resiny kind of thing. Bitter, but it's kind of creamy. It's got this little bit of like fluffy creaminess thing too.
Full disclosure, I had this when he sent it off originally. So I had it fresh. It's actually quite a bit different fresh. Not in an overtly negative way. It was a little bit more vibrant on the fruit side of things. It had maybe a touch more sweetness. It was a little bit less drying. Like I could see this actually, give it another month or two, there might be a touch of negative oxidation on it, because there's this dryness to it that I don't think comes from the yeast. I think it might be yeast dry, but it could also be the onset of a subtle, very subtle amount of oxidation. When it comes off a little bit more tempered, it's not overly sweet. It's a sweet beer by yesteryear's standards, but not by today's standards. Mm-hmm. There's definitely a bitter and piney thing going on, but there also is kind of like again, underripened citrus pithiness to it. Like it's almost like, if whenever you take that piece of an orange, or not so much grapefruit, but orange, and when you peel an orange, and you break it apart, and there's that pithy core, and if all that was stuck on one piece and it was underripened, like you're getting that kind of pithy core kind of thing going on with it. Man, I can see my breath in here. It's that cold. Holy shit. I just like breathed out. I was like, wow. But I like it. It's actually, I'm kind of bummed that I didn't review it fresh. Well, not because I don't like where it is now, but I think it would have been really cool to have that on record and then put it side by side with this. Did you drink yours? Did you drink any of your other ones fresh?
No, this is the first time I'm having it.
Okay.
Because
I gave you 2, right?
What?
Yeah, I gave you 2, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Ralph sent a 6-pack off. 1 broke. Keith gets the short end of the stick. But I like the way that it's like criminally drinkable. But that would be probably my negative on it, is that the way it's drinking now, I want it to be lower ABV so I could session the shit out of it. Yeah. That would probably be my biggest kind of stick on it. But it's held up really, really well. Not that a month and a half is a long time, and we got it hyper fresh, and mine's been in the fridge the whole time. Yeah. But it is citrus forward with that nice kind of grapey, grape skinny, but also kind of stone fruity kind of combination, in a very drinkable package with nut bitterness. Kind of make me want to go back for more. Yeah.
I know we were excited to be like, oh, Ralph sent this off and we're getting it like the day after it was bottled or whatever. And then of course, all the things happened and we didn't get to it.
Yeah. Now we got to it. Like, this is this is probably the best way I put it. This is like one of those IPAs that, like, let's say I go a little bit like aggressive on some beer shopping, and I buy $100 worth of beer for the sake of conversation, but it's all like mixed 6s and 4s of relatively decently priced beer. A little bit of lager here, a couple hazies there, porter maybe, and this comes in a 6-pack, and I'm like, I'm gonna have a couple beers. I drink a lager, I drink a porter, I drink one of these. Oh, this is good. I'll drink it. And then like I look down and I drank like 5 of these by accident. Like, I'm like, wait, what? I drank 5 of these? I'm like, I shouldn't have drank 5. But it's like one of those like sneaky, super drinkable, just like, oh man, I can just crush the crap out of it kind of beers. And I think that's a good thing, especially when you're dealing with an IPA from brewery, again, not known for their IPAs, to produce something that is not just tasty, but super drinkable. That does not suck.
Yeah. And also as my first beer in over 2 weeks, it's enjoyable. I'm enjoying it. It's my first beer in over 2 weeks, and it's an IPA, and I'm enjoying it. So
yeah, so there you go. You get the trifecta key seal of approval on this one.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like I would say, like probably the only negative for me would be like an ABV, but that's me on my soapbox wishing everything was negative 14%. Yeah. There is a dryness that I think might turn into oxidation, but I'm not quite sure because Ralph actually told me the yeast he used, but I think it could just be, that's, part and parcel of aggressively hot beers nowadays. But as far as like anything else, there's no off flavors to it. There's no, DMS, diacetyl, any of that stuff is floating around. It is a really solid beer with a really well done malt base. Shows a lot of citrusy, fruity, new school hops that aren't hyper aggressive, but also has enough bittering to make it super drinkable. And it's kind of what good beer is supposed to be. So
yeah, I like it. Thanks, Ralph.
Thumbs up.
And I'm glad I have another bottle of this, because then I can enjoy it maybe a little later. Maybe test your theory.
There you go. That would be fun. Revisit it in a couple months just for science.
A year to the day.
There you go. Even better.
All right. So yeah. I think that's it, right? We said all the things.
Yeah, Barrel Monks Brewing, Florida. They do get this show, New Jersey, not widely, but their beers find their way up here. I'm not quite sure about the bottles. That's a little bit of a different piece, but you can find them up here in Jersey. But they get distribution, mostly Belgian known or Belgian influence, but spreading out in a bunch of different things. And one of the more funner breweries. It's very cool, kind of like circle that Barrel Monks sent me beers. I love them. I think that's one of the reasons why Ralph started watching me. He started sending me beer mails. He's the original beer mail, crazy bonkers beer mail bomb insanity. He would send me like 30 beer mails every 3 weeks. And then what does he do? He ends up becoming a brewer and working at Barrel Monks. It's a beautiful cycle.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it then.
There you go.
I haven't done this in a while. So.
Check this guy out at 93 Lumber. Yeah, on his channel. Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, check Matt out at Massive Beers. You probably already do, so that doesn't matter. And yeah, thanks, Ralph. And we'll see you in the next one.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Okay. Oh, I need heat.